Welcome back for our third video in topic 2.7 where we conclude our look at the string methods that are included in the Java Quick Reference. Today we're going to look at the length method, the equals, and the compare to. And if you look at your copy of the Java Quick Reference or at the screen in the essential knowledge statements that I've highlighted, you'll notice that two of these methods return int values and one of them is a Boolean and therefore returns a Boolean, true or false. Length returns an integer. Here's what length looks like in code. So we have the word computational that we've been using in these lessons in 2.7, and if we want to return the length of the word computational, we would either call it or, as I've included it here, inside of a print line statement. And we should expect to get back the number 13 because it's going to return an int value, and computational has 13 letters in the word. If you compare this to the index of, which goes from 0 to 12, index of starts with 0 and counts each element. The length tells us the actual number of character values that are in the string. And do remember that strings can contain numbers as well as letters. So we've been dealing really with, just for the sake of the ones I've chosen, only alphabet letter ones, but it could include numbers or symbols or space bars. And here you see how string will be counted in terms of length. All right, now let's look at equals. The dot equal method, being Boolean, is only going to be able to return for us a true or false, and what it's doing is really what you think it would do. It's looking at the two items that we're comparing and telling us if they equal the same thing or not. Now, equals should be used with strings because it behaves differently than the double equal sign that you learned to use as an operator in a previous unit 1 or 2. So here's what equals looks like, and I'm going to show you kind of how it looks in its anatomy and how it will behave. The method, of course, is the dot equal. It's going to look, whatever word is first is going to be called the this, and the second word that it's comparing it to is called other. So we have this and other, and notice that when I have those in the title of the slide, they're in Courier New because those are expected to be called out. Since pal and palm are not the same, we expect it to get a false. Now let's look at compare to, which is similar to equal but not the same, and it's going to return an int. And what compare to returns is based on the comparison that it makes. It will compare the two words and look at how they differ in their location on the A to Z English alphabet. So it returns a negative number, a number less than 0, if this is less than other, 0 if they're the same, and greater than 0 if this is greater than other. So you're going to really want to practice with this one, not meaning a pun. You're going to want to practice using the compare to method to sort of watch for how it behaves. I chose pal and palm because pal is one letter less than palm, and I know that the word is shorter. You could also try it with maybe the word pals, plural, and compare that to the word palm in your code and kind of watch for how the outcome would change, because the letter S, if I were looking at pals, would be farther along in the alphabet than the letter M. So the way that I have it, pal being singular is going to throw a -1 because actually that letter is shorter than the word palm, and it's also one letter off in the alphabet. Okay, for this practice, I want you to pause your video. This is the stem, or the actual question material for one of the multiple choice questions provided in the course and exam description. There are 20 multiple choice questions provided in the CED. We talked about where the CED was in the 2.7 video 1. You need to be familiar with that document, but you also may want to look at the multiple choice there. And this particular question is actually giving you some substring calls and a string declaration and then asking you what the result is, what is actually going to be displayed. All right, here's the entire question with the 5 answer choices. So again, pause the video to make your choice. And I hope you have your answer formulated. Here's the answer. If you chose A, you got it right, so yay you. This is a Skill 5A question, and it maps to variable 1EB. Okay, this video 3.7 number 3 concludes our look at string methods provided in the Java Quick Reference and from the learning objective var1.e. I hope that you've learned how to use strings, and I hope that you practice the methods so that you're very familiar with them, applying them to multiple choice and getting ready to apply them in free response. Thank you for watching.